Support for the Off the Ball podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming.
And we are live. What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Off the Ball podcast with me, your host, Chris LeBron, and brought to you by the Off the Ball Network and Manscaped. Make sure to get your Manscaped 20% off. Use promo code Off the Ball. Make sure you get it off the ball with Manscaped. Remember, 20% off, free shipping included. But on today's show, I got a special guest today, man. We've been trying to get this going for a minute. I'm happy to finally get him on the show today. I got my man Wayne Cole, podcaster, counselor, NBA reporter. I mean, this guy does it everything. You've seen him on Clubhouse. You've seen him on all these locker room apps. He's the locker room king. He might have his own locker room in locker room. So huge advocate in the mental health world, So Wayne, my man, what's going on, brother?
Man, I'm grateful just to be here, man. You could have been anywhere in the world, but they decided to be with us. But honestly, I'm just humbled and grateful that you extended this offer and the wise words and the kind of things you said about me, man. I really take those to heart. So thank you.
No, man, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Like I said, I've been wanting to get you on here and, just chop it up with you because, we talked about before we got on the show, man, you're very inspirational on social media. Like you always open up the day, positivity. Mm-hmm. And to me, there's just not enough of that in this world. And, like you said, like we mentioned before we started, social media can be a cesspool, right? It could be very negative. Everyone wants to art, especially in our field, in the sports media world, where everyone wants to attack this player, attack that player, attack that team, coach, whatever. You keep it positive. You try to keep it, and it really fuels, like it gets me going because it's kind of something that I've been wanting to do is not be so negative, and just be more positive and don't take things so serious and so because it could really mess with you, right? It could really get to you. So just tell me about all this positivity and how are you so positive, when in a world that's just so negative at times.
Honestly, I had to learn that because where I'm from, I didn't have a father, so I had to cling to positivity. And now that I'm in a position where I work with so many young people, they tell me that, they don't have a father. They look at me as a father figure. And I'm like, I didn't have one. So I kind of just built this thing from the ground up. And I became what I wanted when I needed when I was young. And that was somebody that could be a mentor, somebody that could be a go-to, just somebody that, the kids could, look up to. And I take that very serious. It's a job that is 24/7. Today's society, we see a lot of guys that, resort to the wrong things or just don't have mentorship or just want a chance. So I tried to build a platform to where if anybody, was willing to, do the right thing, I would bring them on. So I just became what I needed when I was young. And with that, my grandfather, who just recently passed, was big in the community. I appreciate that. And I'm named after him. So it means a little bit more to me. I've seen him go into the roughest of rough parts of Baltimore and, just pick up guys and say, look, I'm gonna put a ball in your hand or I'm gonna put a book in your hand and, let's go to the top. So just another way to honor him and just be, at the end of the day, man, just be a good person. And that's what it's about.
It's that easy too.
It's so easy.
It's really that easy. I think just there's too many negativity in this world. I know there's obviously we're dealing with COVID, we're dealing with a lot of craziness with politics and all that. But at the end of the day, being a good person, no matter what's going on in the world, it's, you should be a good person, help each other. We don't do that enough, help each other, so that's something that, we got to embrace most. And then, like you said, even on social media, it's crazy social media how it is, but you stay positive on social media where it's so easy to go and be like, yo, what is that person? Why is that person like so negative over there? Like and you stay away from that, you know?
And let's stick with that because it's one guy behind me for the Denver Nuggets, Will Barton. I always say he's my GOAT. You know, I was able to see him kind of grow up, went to school with him. I'm just a big fan of his, and I'll tweet at Will Barton is the GOAT, right? And I'll get all of this troll message, all of this hate mail, and it's like, dang, you hate yourself that much, man, that you name calling him, and you don't know this guy's story, you don't know what he's been through,
exactly.
You don't know the trials and tribulations he had to go just to get to the league. So it makes me, when I get those type of messages, when I tweet at him, for example, it just makes me go 20 times harder to support him. So it's just the little things like that. And where we're from, it's hard to see people clap for us. You know, it's a lot of self-motivation. And when you know these guys on a personal level, it's like, yeah, I'm a Wizards fan, but I'm a Will Barton fan. Or, yeah, I'm a Wizards fan. Or, no, I'm a Kevin Durant fan because I know their story. So it means a little bit more to me. A la Lamar Jackson. It's just crazy. I've seen him up and close in practice. I've seen what he does in the community. But some people on social media think it's cool to, you know, call him things that he's not. I've been called the N-word because I say Lamar Jackson is a quarterback. So the more hate I get, it makes me funnel it back into more love for these guys because, again, I know what they go through. And when imagine open up your phone and you see hundreds and hundreds of mentions of just derogatory words and you suck, and that'll weigh on somebody's mental. So that's why it's made me want to push this thing to be like, nah, the real got your back, and, you know, just keep going. So
yeah,
I do, man. It's crazy. People don't realize those mentions are crazy, man.
The mentions, and that's why that's why, I mean, and it's just crazy how you see the accounts that are just do that. They want that, and it's like negativity. Like, why do you constantly just want negativity? And like, why do people have to attack? It's like, and I hate talking about the LeBron Jordan thing, but it's like that. If you say Jordan's the GOAT, people get on you, right? Oh, he played against plumbers, right? And he played against scrubs. And then it's LeBron. It's like, well, he had to buy his championships, right? He had to do all this, right? And all that. And it's like, if I say Jordan's the GOAT and I say LeBron's too, I mean, I'm saying LeBron's the second greatest of all time. Yeah. That's not bad. I mean, how many players have we seen play the game of basketball, you know, come through in and out? You know, thousands of baton, hundreds of whatever the number is it's a lot. Yeah. And people are really griping over you saying this person's number two or number one. Like, it's like, we're really arguing about that. And like, and you saying with Will Barton, like, you have a connection with Will Barton, right? So it's different. So when you say that and people just don't get it and they're not understanding this, you know, it's more than just me saying, you're not saying it just to say it so you can get some, you know, some publicity or some clout. Yeah. You're saying
that's my guy.
That's your guy. So it's different. Yeah, you look at it different because
where we're from, it's 1 in a billion that make it. Believe that. So when you see somebody make it from where you clap for them every chance you get, because we get a lot of people that don't clap for you. So it just means that more. And then with the LeBron angle, me being a Wizards fan, man, he used to get us in the playoffs.
Thanks.
But and we were talking about when you come to the media side of things, it's like, man, I mean, the guy's great. And what he does off the court, like, how can you not be a LeBron fan? Take the basketball out of the side. He has a school. He has a family. You know, he has business ventures. You know,
but people don't care, Wayne. People don't care about what they don't know about that. It's whether you know what side he sits politically and all that, or you know when he stands up for things, you know, social justice. People only care about that. They don't care about all that other good stuff. His upbringing, right? Being a single parent hold, like growing up in a rough part of Akron, like people don't care about that. Like they think he's just some rich guy that, you know, because he's almost a billionaire, that he has no say. And that always bothered me when people get on LeBron with that. It's like, this dude's a human. First of all, he's a human, right? I think we forget about that. No matter if you're a millionaire, billionaire, or you know, on the bottom, humans. We're all humans. I think that we forget about that, right? Especially during these last, you know, couple of years, where, you know, humans. We're all humans at the end of the day. But with him, and it's always resonated with me. You know, single parent home, growing up in tough neighborhoods. You know, my mom, you know, realizing I can't stay in this environment. I gotta, you know, I gotta do better. Right. My mom could have stood like a lot of other people that she knew and stood in the projects and in these rough areas and stood there and lived their whole life. And then, but I always say, like, where would I be? You know, like I said, I didn't have my father growing up, you know, until my stepfather came. So, you know, I always resonated with LeBron because I understood that in a way, you know, like that, you know, being with your mother and that bondness that they have, right?
Yeah.
So when people attack him, it's like, if you want to talk about his on-court stuff and you want to get him, I've gotten LeBron he's not being clutch or whatever, especially early on, right? That's fair game. Whatever's on the court is fair game. But all the other stuff, I just feel like it's always been out of line when people get on him, you know, shut up and dribble, you know, that stuff. I mean, all that nonsense. You know, how did you feel about all that stuff? You know, and when people attack players because they're speaking up, I never just understood that. That always rubbed me the wrong way.
You know, for me, man, it kind of something clicked for me. You know, I'm like, yeah, I'm a Wizards guy, like Wizards through and through, but now I'm a LeBron guy because it really is more than a game. And it's funny that they say King James, but I literally made my hashtag as you see, King Ote, because my grandfather's name was Wayne King Cole, and I'm Wayne Ote Cole. So I just put it together as a tribute to him. And LeBron said something so well that maybe if I had my father in my life, would I be LeBron James? So I think, thank God, almost that he didn't, because he was able to shape how he wanted the future to be. So he used that to become a good man, a good father, a good role model, a good leader. You know, sometimes our biggest storms become our brightest suns. And it's incredible to me that a guy that has to endure so much, the world on his shoulders, continues to show up, continues. And I tell people, I got a little LeBron in me. You know, they knock him because he's 4-6, and I say, you know what? I've had 6 major L's in my life, but I've also had 4 major championships. But I've been at the top. So how can you have never been to the mountaintop? You're 0-0. You've never been to the finals, and you're trying to critique me? You haven't been to them. I've been there 10 times. So even if I failed 6 times, I rose to the occasion 4. So that's what I try to, you know, shape is life. Like, to be a champion, I grade you more off, are you helping your community, what you do on the court, how do your teammates talk about you? That's the championship to me. Like, I am foundation, or he's making a school. That's already 50 championships right there. So
that's the championship.
Yeah,
you build a school.
I mean, Russell Westbrook said it earlier. Like, what I've done in my community, the game of basketball is just icing on the cake. You know, it's a game. But we talking real life. We're talking with kids that have to raise themselves. We're talking about kids that don't know if they're going to have a meal tonight. We're talking about kids that all they have is basketball. You know, I was talking to Martell Webster, and he said, literally, the game of basketball was his therapy. He didn't really have an outlet. He had to literally use the game of basketball to, you know, work on his mental health. And I see LeBron, he's so mentally strong. And people are like, how is he still at this clip? It's up here. He's so in tune up here that his body can just, he's aging like fine wine. So I've tried to model my game in my life like LeBron and just say, look, I have to be more than an athlete. I have to be bigger than the game. I have to be a better person every day. And following his blueprint has got me here. So the guy's doing something right.
That's for sure. And like you said, that blueprint, like it's something that I embodied. Like I said, not having, you know, my real father passed away real young. And then
my condolences, man.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Like I don't even remember. Like I was just so young, and you hear stories like about him and all that. And then, you know, then I got older. My stepfather was around, but I was always quiet, right? I was always quiet. But when I got on the court and when I played football, I always found myself being like taking it to another level. People like that's like another animal came out of me, like just that aggression and like, you know, that mentality, like, and I just like anger. Like, and just sometimes thinking like, what if he was here? Like, it's just crazy. Like, and I remember talking this with Scott Pollard, and this is something that really hit me when he talked to me about this. And he mentioned when his father passed away, and how angry he got with us, you know, and how he made him even an angrier player, like in a good and a bad way, right? Where he just more aggressive and all that, but also sometimes just not be able to control his emotions because he's just, you know, it's already an emotional sport, especially when you're playing a high school level or competitive level. It's already emotional. Now you sometimes when you get in that, you know, it's a free throw line, whatever, and you just have those few minutes to just 3 seconds to think, and your brain just goes crazy, and it's just, I'm like, I relate to that, even though obviously I didn't play to the level he did. You know, he was an everything player, but still, like, I remember thinking that, like, man, like, what if he was in the stand? Like, you see everyone, and I remember just feeling that, like, an anger, being angry, like, you know, taking that out, you know, but I knew I had my mom's there, so I was like, all right,
yeah,
I'm gonna be cool. But it just always had that thought, like, what if he was in the stands? Like how would life even be? You know, I think about that, like, as he passed so young, like I was an infant, so I always think about how would life be? You know, how much it would change? How much would it change? Would I still be in the streets? Like, would I be that? Because, you know, that's how he was. You know, he was one of these street guys. So would I be in that environment? So I always think about that. Like, what if? Like, you know, I don't like to always go back to the past, but I always think, how would life be if he was still around? You know,
it's so ironic you said that, because I can remember being a youngin playing pee-wee baseball, basketball, and everybody like, oh, my dad's in the stand, and I'm like, where's your dad, Wayne? And I'm like, oh, I don't have one, you know. And I looked up in the crowd. Thank God my grandfather was there. But that fueled me. So thank God my grandfather coached me for some. And I'm not gonna say I was the greatest ball player ever.
Yeah,
but I was a dual forward. Shout out to Rashad Phillips with the manual. I was the everything guy. So it would be times when my grandfather would be like, oh, you got to guard the ringer or the tallest guy. And he'd be 2 feet taller than me. But he was like, look, if you want that rebound, act like it's a piece of steak up there and you haven't eaten in 3 days. You're going to let that man get that food before you? So I would get the rebound. And then you hear the coach call time, like, how is this guy, you know, getting this over you? And it's just like, I just wanted more. And I think that hunger in me is like, you might look better than me. You might be cuter than me. You might have more money than me. You might have more status than me, but you'll never outwork me. You'll never outwork me. I think that's how I built my brand. You know, I will go 150% if I have to. And that's what I took a team of guys that in a summer camp one time, they were like kind of the rejects. Nobody expected them to win anything. The comic book guys, the gamers. We beat a team in overtime 16-14. And that was the championship. So I told him, look, man, I just need dogs. I'm not asking for the next all-star. I'm asking for the UDs. You know, just give me that dog. If you got that dog, we can do something. So I think that's how I've been able to kind of, like I told you, make my brand is I see something in you that you don't see in yourself yet. Like it's there. I'm a tap into it. And that's why I said, like, I get stories from, even though I'm a Wizards guy, like Patrick Ewing, you know, I came back home to my high school and not only won a championship as a coach, but as a player, you know, so it's something special about, you know, seeing kids reach that mountaintop, because when they're there, then they're like, oh, I can do this. So I just really pride myself in the kids, man, because I didn't have that. So I don't want no kid to experience that. And I think that's what drives me, you know, like, I got you. Like Mr. Cole, Mr. Wayne, King Ote, whatever you call it, like, I got you. If you rocking, I'm rolling. And that's how I'm built.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. It feels good to help others, right? Especially since I've started this podcasting, right? And just building the brand and being able to build a little bit of a network and helping others, right? You know, seeing guys that, you know, and they reach out to me and be like, hey man, like, how do you do it? And and like, it's like, wow, they're asking me how to, you know, they're asking me for help, like for assistance and how to grow. Like, I think it's crazy. Like, cause I'm 32 now. Like, and I've dabbled in podcasting before, but never can be consistent. And that was always an issue I had, was consistency and just, you know, focusing on the goal. Like my stepfather passed away in 2011. And like that was another thing I had to go through, like figuring that out. And I was, you know, it was right before I was graduating from college, and I felt like, all right, I'm just gonna keep going for him. I'm gonna keep going for him. And then there's just certain things in life where, you know, one thing happens, you get rejected. One thing happens. I remember I got accepted to St. John's University, and I'm dude. 3 times I tried to get in. They were like, no, no, no. I said, nah, I'm gonna get in. And I remember not far past when he passed away, I got the letter. Said you're accepted. I'm like, wow, like this is okay. Little things started going. And then I remember going into the admissions, they're telling me my schedule and all that. And then I got hit with, you got to pay like 15 grand. I was like, damn, I just had to pay for, you know, funerals and all that. It's like,
real.
And then
it's real.
And it's like, that happened. And then other things happened. And it's like, damn, like that was my dream to get into this school. Like I tried a lot. And then like little things and just like not having that person to help me. And like you gone through some stuff and it's like, damn, and not having that person to help you go through those lows. Sometimes you just need to go and it's tough to that. But just being like, and then like, all right, you know what? He always wanted me to just focus on one thing and just go at it. And then I would try to do it and I couldn't get it. And I remember just having that one moment and just saying, I'm just going to do this podcasting thing and just see how it goes. You know, I'm finally, like, it's taken too long for me to figure something out. I'm going to do this and I'm just going to go for it. If it fails, it fails, but it's not because I'm not trying. So I just went for it and I did it. I tried, I learned what everything you needed, you know, equipment, tools, you know how it goes, man. You know, all this software, you know, but also studying others and studying, okay, because you're hosting, right? And in the beginning, you know, unless you already have an established name, you're not gonna be able to get people to come on, right? So you got to start off just talking to yourself. So now you got to feel comfortable. So it's just doing a bunch of tests. So just understand, all right, you know, I want to do this. So just believing in yourself, you know, sometimes you have that doubt, like people get scared. That's why the studies say after people quit, you know, 70% of podcasts don't go past show 1. So I'm like, I have to beat that. So in my back of my head, I gotta beat those odds. So I beat that odds and then just grow. And then like, all right, getting more confident. Do one show. I was like, all right, getting a little buzz. Okay. Turns into getting this guy on the show, getting Matt Babcock on the show, and then that spinning, and then, you know, growth, and then keep growing and growing and growing where I'm getting college kids on the show. Now I got other top bloggers, and then it just doing that. And then now
it's snowball, right?
It snowballs. And now you got people coming to you looking for assistance. And they used to work for this such ESPN, Fox Sports Illustrated. They're like, how do you do it? And I'm like, dude, like, I'm trying to get to where you're at, and you're
right.
It's humbling. It could be humbling.
It's so humbling, man.
It's crazy.
It's hard to fathom, but that's because we here, so I know exactly what you mean. And speaking of that, my grandfather's favorite 2 people, believe it or not, were Will and Kobe. So that's how I keep that alive. Like I make sure I watch the Denver games. I make sure I push that women in sports narrative, not because it's the cool thing to do, because it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing,
you know. Like he left me a magazine from Kobe and Gilbert, so it's a little bit more. And when you know Kobe was the first one in the locker room and the gym and the last one out, you know, he's still practicing on game nights. He's in the film. Like I watch so much film. Then you go a la Will, like. We bought League Pass. We could watch Denver games after the Wizards games, and he's like, "Look at Will, man, just out there, Baltimore." So it just means a little bit more to me. Like, how do I keep my Pop-Pop's legacy alive? Watching his favorite player like Will, protecting women in sports, helping these kids out. You know, mentoring a kid in the UK now, mentoring a kid in Cali, mentoring a kid in Texas, mentoring a kid in countries I can't even pronounce. It's like a little kid from Baltimore is literally helping other young men around the country with no father. So it's like it's just hard to digest sometimes. Like, y'all believe in me, so if you believe in me, we going to the top. And I think that's what it's about, man. Like if you believe in somebody like this, I'm gonna take you like that, because that's all I need. If you with me that much, let's go to the top. Because I remember when I didn't have nothing, and that's when you from nothing and somebody gives you something. Oh, now we got to win.
Of course, that's the thing. You got to win. Like when people look up to you and like want to, they envy what you do and they want to be like you. It's different. And I know I have kids, and I see my son wants to be like me, and it's crazy to think like, damn, like he wants to be like me. And then like you have to live up to a standard, to show them the way, right? Especially, guiding, especially when you have son, you have to show them the way to be a man, right? Respect, learn how to respect women. I'm teaching them that, like, respecting women is that's number one. And I've seen what you've done with the women's movement and all that. And I'm all for that, because that's another thing where disrespect is at another level with the women's.
Whole another level. I mean, look at the Bleacher Report comments, man.
I mean, it's a cesspool. YouTube, I mean, this is sometimes where I've learned to not even look at comments anymore. Like, just
really,
because it could get you down just looking at bad comments.
Chris, you want to know what? Not me, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but those, because look, when you said the son thing really resonated. I don't have kids yet, but I have a lot of kids that think I'm their father. So I got to carry it as such. But I have a goddaughter and a godson. And when their father asked me to be their godparent, man, it changed my life, because it was like, they'll tell you, if something happens to our parents, Wayne, you have us. So I'm trying to build something where they can be proud. And I've been in my goddaughter's cheer competition for 10 hours, and I'm cheering. I'm still going. I'm with my little nephew, and we playing the Switch. And they want to get, and I'm helping her with a podcast. I'm helping her with the YouTube. I want this to be better for them than when I found it. So, and that's it. Children are the most precious gift in the world. So they're watching me. 10 years from now, I'm gonna say, "Oh, on Twitter, I saw you bash women," or 10 years from now, "Oh, I saw you not stand up for us." No, they're not gonna be able to say that, because they know, oh, my godfather is a women in sport advocate. My godfather cares about us. My godfather started a platform that now I can take over from him. So kids, they say lie detectors, kids are the best barometer of how a human being is. They can feel energy sometimes that we overlook. So if a kid is not trying to come near you, that raises a red flag to me, because kids are the future, and they know a genuine spirit when they see one. So that's been my life's mission work. What am I doing for the next generation? Am I making it better, or am I making it harder? So as Jay-Z said, I went through that. So hopefully you don't have to go through that. So if I can make their path that much easier, that's what it's about.
Exactly. That's really is about. It's just building that next generation. I think people don't really think about that, building up these next generation. And I think that's very important to help build these kids. Like I said, I have a son. It's my job to make sure that he's ready, when as he get older and understands life and everything that goes with it. Like, not everything's going to be peaches and cream. You're going to go through ups, you're going to go through your downs. It's going to be a roller coaster, right? But it's just learning how to do it better than I did, figuring out better than I did, so you don't avoid those downfalls, right? So you understand, okay, now I can go straight instead of going down. All right, I'm gonna figure this out, and teaching them that, so it's important to make sure we build the youth, I've seen it, like, just with the podcast, and like I said, just people, young kids reaching out to me and be like, I want to be like you. I was like me, like I said, Wayne, it's just crazy that people can reach out to me, DMs, emails, wherever, and I'm not someone like who thinks I made it and all that. Like, I'm nowhere near where I even want to be, but I'm farther than I ever thought I would be.
There you go.
And it's if I could give someone a little advice on, like, this is what you need to do. Hey, just keep working hard at it. It's just about being consistent and do it for the love. Because you hear a lot of people, they want to do it everything's for money, right? Oh, how do you make money? How do you make money doing podcast? How do you make? And I'm like, well, that's the wrong mindset to have. You should be doing.
I hate that. I'm like,
passion
first.
Exactly.
Passion first, man. Because if you're chasing the passion, you're going to be happy every night. When you're chasing the money, you're going to feel empty. How do I know that? I talk to guys that have made hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm like, how are you so positive, man? Because I'm chasing something that money can't buy. And that's putting a smile on the kid's face. So that's making people know that their mental health matters. That's something that that transcends life. You know, everything starts with the mental.
Exactly.
And the more you're in this podcasting thing, you realize like you really have to pour into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be a reflection of others. So when kids say, "Oh, I want to be like you, man," I want you to be better than me. Why do you want to be like me? Be better than me.
Exactly.
You know, you can be better. That's better than being me.
Mm-hmm.
And now that means somebody coming to you is going to be 10 times better than you. So as kids, you know, I was a public speaking tutor in college, and I would get up and talk to 5,000 people, 80,000 people, 5 people. Some people would go like this, look like, "Oh my God, I'm nervous." I'm like, "What you nervous for?" If you believe it, I mean, it's nothing to be scared of, really. Like, own it. Lose yourself in the moment, like Eminem said. This is your time.
Exactly.
Like, you are the author of your life. Chapter 1 won't be the same as chapter 30. It won't be the same as chapter 80. But if you're still on chapter 1, you're not living. So, and as being like I told you, said an author, podcaster, counselor, reporter, mentor, educator. I have like so many hats that I realize like mental health is important. So that's why I try to push this thing, man. I'm not the Wayne Cole people think I am if I'm not taking care of myself. So when people see a man can be vulnerable, can talk about his feelings, can talk about his emotions, can just talk about whatever, it makes people see the genuine side. Because we on social media, as you said, we see all the highlights and the accomplishments. With me, you'll see the lowlights. You'll see I miss my grandfather, or I had a rough day today. I'm an open book for kids coming behind me. So I have to make sure that they get this blueprint the right way so that they know, oh, it's okay to have a rough day today. It's okay to just not do anything today. I don't want them to think they got to be, you can be great, but a car needs gasoline sometimes. You know, it runs on a lot of things. So I say cars run on gasoline, I run on motivation. And I truly believe that if you are doing something that's bigger than you, you're not working a day in your life. So that's true. That's how it is, man.
It really is the truth. And just doing all this, you know, the podcasting, and it's become fun. You know, it's fun to grow. It's fun to grow. It's fun to network. Like the amount of people I've networked with during this year and a half, since pretty much since COVID, is when essentially my show's kind of like taking a little, you know, up, you know, and just the amount of people I network, and I'm like, wow, I get to talk to that person. Like I could hit up that person or this person. It's just crazy. And then
genuine with it though.
Genuine. It's genuine. It's not just like a one-time thing where we do one show and that's it. Because I'm like, anyone can do that, right? You could do one show and that's it. It's like just having constant, like to be able to be like, hey, you know, we could talk after and just chop it up, or whenever I could reach out to you. Hey, so, you know, how did you do this and such and this? Or just have that genuine. And that's what I've been able to do, like build genuine connections where, you know, I showing love to you know, the people that I've been at work. Like to me, that's dope. Like even if it's a retweet or a like that goes a long way to help someone out.
That means a lot because it's free. It's free to click the heart retweet.
It's free. It's free, right? And sometimes
it's free.
You know, you see like you get more love from people that you haven't even met, like, you know, other than like at a Zoom call or than people that, you know, family or whatever, right? And
strangers are more supporting the family.
And it's crazy how that works. But just building like what I've done with like just the podcast, and then turn the podcast and then try to build a network, you know, and seeing the people that I've been able to put around me, right? Because you can't do it by yourself, right? When I started a network, when I wanted to start, I'm going to do a network, right? Because I've been a part of one. I didn't like how that went. Like I didn't like the structure. I was like, that's not how I would do it. So when I went away from that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own, but I'm going to make sure I got the right people around me. So I surrounded myself with people who were supportive of the show, right? They were fans of the show and said, let me ask them to help me build this network, Off the Ball Network. And we were able to do that. And they were with me. We had a plan and we went at it, and slow growth, but we've been able to do some really cool things on the way. But it's just because of these networks and these networking with people and people liking my show, right? I think that's crazy to even think one person liking your show is cool, But when you have a group that enjoy your content, it's like, all right, that keeps you motivated, right? It keeps you motivated because it can, as fun as this can be, you could have low moments because you could look at stats, you could look at engagements and like, oh man, I only got 3 listens. Damn, man, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this anymore. And just getting past that, right? And it's getting past that, and that's what I've been able to do with this, is getting past that beginning stages where like I was like, all right, I don't know if this is worth it. You know, I don't know if people care. I don't know if people care about what I say, but it just keep going forward with it and just building confidence, being more like I know myself 10 years ago, I couldn't do podcasting. I was scared. Like being a public speaker, I was petrified.
Oh man,
petrified. And I look at myself now, and like I'm like, damn, man. Like I knew so much. Like sports is always my thing. Wanted to be an agent and all that, and then I realized being an agent, you gotta talk to people. I just never was comfortable. And like I look at myself now, I'm like, God, man, if I was just went for it and just believed in myself. And just believing yourself, I could have been a better speaker in that. But it's just crazy how so much you can learn as you get older, and then you wish you can go back to younger self and be like, this, you had it in you. You just had to get it out. It's just
Chris,
trying to get it out.
You said 2 things, Chris. 10 years ago, I did so much of this podcasting, and I did like so much media that I never released it, or I released it on a literally underground scale. And people are like, Wayne, you gotta do this big time, man. You gotta do. I'm like, I'm scared, man. What if somebody ridicule me? What if somebody troll me? And now I look at myself now, and I'm like, I don't care. Like a troll can say what they want, and that's the thing you said. 3 listeners, right? People say, but Mr. Cole only got 3 subs. Wow. So you're gonna neglect the 3 people that believe in you?
Exactly, right?
3 people with 3 million. Like I hate when I hear I only got 10 subs. That's 10 more people than you ever would have thought imagined that support you. So I carry it different. If I only got 15 people rocking with me, I'm gonna give them the content as if it was for 50 bazillion people, because I come from a place where support is paramount. And if somebody believes in you, I mean, I get people to say, can you start a dog podcast? Can you start this type of podcast? Can you do gaming? So I'm asked to do so much. Like now I'm getting into the YouTube world, the Twitch world. And this is because kids see it. Like, I don't even care if you beat me, Mr. Cole. Let's just play Spider-Man and just talk about our mental. It's not about winning. It's just about having a good time and just fellowshipping. So I tell them, if, mental health is important, I got to take care of Mr. Cole. But if you believe in me, trust and believe, I'm going to find these avenues to bring you the content you want. And it's not always about the money. It's about just, dang, he sat with me for an hour. You can get the money back. You can't get that time back. And I think hopefully he has to realize, like, he's teaching me what it means to be there. I'll give you a story real quick, Chris. I was coming off a plane, and I saw a kid with his head in his hand just crying. He's like, I'm like, my man, what you crying for? Well, my dad is traveling all over the world. He's a billionaire, and I never seen him. I'm like, huh? So here it is. This guy has all the money in the world, and his son's not happy. Why? Because he's not being there. So you can think you're doing the successful thing, but if your kid feels like, that's why I said money doesn't buy happiness. The kid doesn't care about the Teslas, the Jordans, the mansion. He just wants his father. So I think that's why mentorship is so important to me. Like, if these guys believe in me when I didn't have that myself, you better believe I'm gonna be there. If a kid the other day asked me to come to a soccer game, I'm there, right? Like, that is valuable time, man. Time. If you give a kid time, that's like giving them $1 billion, because when they look over in the crowd and see you there and they light up and you're like, come on, man, hustle back. Like, I'm like, oh, if I would have had that, I probably would have been in the NBA right now. But I think my lane was, let me try to get kids to the NBA or NBA and then couple that together. So like I said, it's just a blessing to be on here with you. 2 guys that maybe people think we are somebody that's big, but it's like, no, we chopping it up like it's barbershop talk.
Exactly.
I got to be a reflection of you. If you think you're great, then I got to be great. Or if you say, if you got a son right now, I got to be somebody who can be like, hey, little man, like look at Wayne. There's another guy you can look up to. So I just try to do this thing where when I put my head down at night, sometimes I'm frustrated. I'm like, I could have helped more people. That's what drives me. I'm mad that I didn't help another 10,000 people or another 50,000 people. That's what drives me. I know there's a kid right now out there with no lights, no food, and I'm doing this thing for him. And one day we may cross paths. So that's what keeps me up at night. How can I give more? How can I do more? Or how can I just be a role model to these guys out here?
Yeah, you just, that's 100%. I'm all for that. And just you know, like I said, people reaching out to you and just asking for help. Like, I always feel like if someone asks me to come on their show, I'm going to do everything possible to come on your show, because, you know, and it doesn't matter if you had 20 followers, you know, 45. I don't care. That doesn't. If I could come on, I'll come on, because that might be something that could lift you and get you to the. Because, like you said, someone might think I'm like a top podcaster and all that. So me going on this show, like I was at their point where I'm in the beginning and trying to get people to come on my show and getting rejected and all that, and being like, man, this is hard. Like, I don't know if I could do this. So I always, like, I've had plenty of people who've had 5 followers. Like, I'm gonna go on your show. Like, I don't care.
Let's do it. Let's do
it. Like, I'm not that type of person. Like, oh, I'm only going to go on podcasts that have, you know, a certain, like, to me, I'm not, even if I ever get to a level where I'm wherever, you know, if that ever comes, I'm always going to support the, you know, the startups and all that. Cause to me,
I'm for the little man.
At that point.
Always,
you
man.
know,
always.
Oh, I was at that point. So, like, why would I not want to help someone get to where they want to go? And maybe that lifts them from, maybe that me going on their show is the point where, you know, they were thinking about stopping doing it. So me going on their show is the reason why they continue. You know, I don't want to be the reason, like me telling, oh, I can't come on, and then like, oh, all right, I'm just going to stop doing this. Like, even though I that would make me feel, you know, I'm not at that level. Like, I'm going to go on you. We're going to have a good talk. Whatever you want to talk about, let's talk about it, and just let's do it. And then if that gets you to go to episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 700, like, I never thought I'd get to 100 episodes. You know, I thought, like I said, after 2, 3, I'm like, oh, it's a wrap. Like, I can't do this. But, you know, confidence and just, you know, to me, that's important. Like, I just like really helping out people, and like, to me, that feels good to help others, like with the network and all that, and, you know, helping build guys' shows and helping them get guests, or helping them produce something, or helping them with a graphic or something, like
just helping them.
Just helping. Like, to me, it feels good, because it's like, all right, they have enough. They're coming to me asking for help. I feel like it's my obligation to help them, you know, do whatever helping them in whatever they need to get what they need in order for their show to run smooth or whatever. So to me, those things are so valuable. You know, like you said, I don't do it for the money. You know, if you make it on, if it, along the way you're blessed to make money doing this, then that's awesome, right? But like we talked about before, getting into this for money is the wrong mindset to have. And like you said before, like what you said before, like, I'm not even going to talk to, like, I'm not even, when someone does that, it's like, and I'm the same way, like, like, that's already a negative for me. Like, you gotta change that up. That's a negative when you want to just do that. So, you know, it's always good. It feels good always helping people out. So let
me follow you up with that, Chris. There's, as you know, it's a thing called the Locker Room app. And I halted my podcast just so I could help these other kids out. So, you know, I'm on there sometimes doing a 19-hour show. Sometimes I do a 7-hour show.
I saw you. I'm like, yo, Wayne's been up here for like 24 hours. Like, I go to work. I'm like, oh, he just started. Okay. He's like, I might chime in for a little bit, but, you know, get back to work. I'll chime back in for a little bit, see what's going on. I'll leave work at 4. I'm like, wait, Wayne's still on the same? Oh, Wayne's on like a 20. He got his own TV channel. Like,
for real. And I told you, man, I try to have that mindset that nobody can outwork me, but I literally tabled my podcast to help these kids on Locker Room, and it just blew up. It's 2 guys first, and I know they won't mind me shouting them out. One guy was Vince. I met him on there. He's a big 49ers fan. And that's the thing with podcasts, you have to start by yourself. So Vince was in his room, and I came, and he was like, oh, my God, it's Wayne. And he said, look, man, before we start our show, I want to let you know I stutter. I said, okay, that's fine. I was diagnosed with depression. So we both have something we can talk about. I just finished a 4-hour show. Me and him went for 3 hours. Now you would think we've known each other for 50 years. You know, he's my guy. Then there was another young man by the name of Luke, a Miami Heat fan. And, you know, Luke had said he inspired me. And he said, I inspired him. And I said, huh? This guy beat cancer 4 times.
Yeah, I was in that room when you talked about it.
Man,
that's crazy.
Man, look, and I'll say it right here, it's live. I cried. I said, man, I'm emotional to the fact that you have been through so much. And, you know, you saying I inspire you. So now me and him have a little podcast together. And then he got on the app the other day. Now, Spotify bought the app.
Yeah.
He's like, Wayne, I'm scared I'm going to lose you. You're going to get big time on me and you're going to forget us. I said, excuse me, sir. If I go big time, you go big time. Exactly, I'm not forgetting you, Luke. So, man, the guy's incredible. He said I'm an honorary Heat member. The CEO of the app said he was a big fan of mine. So I said, Luke, if wherever I go, you go, man. If the guy is saying he believes in me, I can't lose you, Luke. Like, his story is incredible. So we're going to do some more, like, look out for us, man. We're going to be podcasting. We're going to be doing it. So that actually changed. And then you get kids DMing you saying, you know, thank you for that mental health room. You made me change my mind about hurting myself. So it's bigger than sports for me now. Oh, yeah. These kids, it's saving lives. So to those, it's thousands of people on Locker Room, but those 2 guys just keep me going, man. They just don't know how much they motivate me. So it's been cool to see these guys start their podcast and be a guest and just sit in the room. And it's not always about me. I can start my podcast for these guys because I believe in them, and they're going to do incredible things. So to Vince and Luke and all my Locker Room people, you know, I see you on there too, man. So keep doing it. I'm gonna be in your rooms, man. Yeah.
No, I've been trying to get to do some more Locker Room shows, but that session you just talked about where you said you got emotional, I was in that. You know, I just got in right before that. Like I said, I was when you've done some of these, I'm at work, so when I got time, I'll get to, you know, I'll chime in the room and listen. And I remember you seeing, I'm like, isn't that crazy? Like someone is inspired by you, like you inspire, and this person has survived cancer. Like what you said, 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Like imagine, like, and they look up to you. They're inspired. So
man,
I know,
I was like, man.
You know, Wayne, I'm not even fronting when I heard, because I literally got in right before you said, and I was like, "Ooh, Lulu!" I'm like, man, that's wild. Like that's real.
And I never met the kid, but you meet them through the app and then Twitter and then Instagram. It's like these people are real. Like these are real stories. So I'm like, he made me realize what it means to be grateful. Like, you know, people like, I wish I had the new Jordans or the big house. We just grateful to wake up. We just grateful to connect. We grateful for the little things that people overlook. So when you hear this kid's story in the podcast, you'll be like, wow, man, you know, it's so much to fight for, so much to be grateful for. And the kid sees something in me. So I owe it to him. I said, man, we're going to be sitting courtside with DJ Khaled one day. You know, or it's just, I want to win for him. You know, he became another why for me. It was my pop-up, and that was Luke and Vince. Like, those kids, man, are incredible. And, you know, like I said, it was a truck driver, man. He's like, nobody does a night shift. So now I kind of shifted my focus to doing a late night show. And I'm talking to a trucker. He's like, man, you make it comfortable to talk about my mental health. It's lonely being a trucker. So I'm like, how do I evolve with my audience? I can talk basketball. I can talk being on the road. You know, that's what a good podcast is. You listen to your audience. It's not what you want to talk about all the time. What do they want to hear?
Exactly. 100%. That's how I've done my shows, is like, I could talk about sports. I can get into detail about that. But at the end of the day, you know, it's conversation. People like conversations. You know,
and we flow. Like
talking real. Yeah. We flow. There's no script. Like, you know, I've done shows where I had a script and I'm like, all right, when in the beginning, right? When you're trying to figure out, all right, people telling you, oh, you got to have a script, all that, and you do that, and you have everything written out like it's a movie. And it's like, and then you get to like the third point and like you're already an hour in and you're only up to the third point. It's like, all right, you know, and then it feels so scripted. It's like, nah, it's just as if we're right here. As if, Wayne, you're right.
It's Bob, like we're trying to touch you. It's barbershop.
Yeah, barbershop. And that's how I've done my shows. And that's like what people enjoy, real conversations. Try to be as in, like, just keep it real as if we're right here in front of each other. And to me, that's the best way to have conversations. And like, we could talk sports. Like, we haven't even talked sports yet. And to me, this has been a hell of a conversation already.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You know, and you know, because it's real, like it's real. This is real stuff. Like
real, raw, uncut. You can't edit live. You cannot edit live.
You can't edit this. It's real. It's, you know, it's stuff that we might not talk about, you know, with other people, but listen, this is the first time we've talked live, and it feels like we've known each other for 10 years.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy.
You know, and it's crazy. And that's how I've tried to do all my shows, as if we've been friends for 10 plus years, right? You listen to a lot of my shows, especially after I started getting real comfortable and got people on my show. You would think, oh man, how long you known that guy for? I was like, nah, I met him for the first time on the show. But you know, and it's like when I had Ronnie Brewer and I had like I said, Scott Pollard. These are pros. These are guys playing the league. These are guys that playing against Shaq, Kobe, T-Mac. You know, you can get a little intimidated, right? You think you got to do all, and it's like, nah, just be you. That's it. And then you just mentally prepare, just be you, and then you get them engaged, you get them laughing, get them calling your name, and it's just real conversation. That's how I try to separate myself, you know, as much, you know, because it's a tough business, it's a tough sports media, sports podcasting.
Cutthroat, man.
It's cutthroat. Because listen, everyone got a podcast, but it's just, for me, it's just raw, uncut, good conversations, fun conversations. To me, I try to separate, you know. So like I said, so far this has been dope. So let's talk a little ball. You know, we talk. We always got an hour. You know. Let's talk a little ball.
Hey, I'm on your time. I told you, you know, I can go forever. So I'm on your time, man.
Yeah, man. No, but so far, man, conversation has been great. People are enjoying it. So you know, it's been great. Like I said, I've been wanting to do this for a minute. So I'm happy to chop it up with you. But let's talk about your Wizards. I mean, it's been a rough up and down season. You know, obviously. You know, you traded for Russell Westbrook in the offseason. You know, John Wall been there for a long time. You know, obviously missed the last 2 years with, the Achilles and a bunch of injuries. But you finally, you traded him for Westbrook. You know, a lot of injuries. Brian got hurt. You know, just talk to me about the season as a whole, because it has been a tough season for you guys. So just talk to me about, DC right now, because it's tough right now.
It's tough, man. The Wizards, we play as if we are a championship team. Like when we get the Nets or we get your contenders, man, we play lights out ball. Mm-hmm. But when we play, a team that I mean, they're all professionals. Let's get that out the way. When we play a team that may be in a slump, we play like we're in a slump. So It's so frustrating. It's like, we just put up 147 on the Nets. How are we putting up 91 tonight? I mean, it's just crazy. But the trade of Russell Westbrook, man, it really put some dogs in us. Like Roy, everywhere Russell has gone, you hear that he's elevated. Beal, leading scorer, says, man, like it's been a blessing playing with Russell. So I tell people, look, you don't want to draw the Wizards because we're gonna give you a dogfight. We can score with the best of them. Mm-hmm. Injury, the COVID started us really slow behind the 8 ball, and people are like, "Oh, the Wizards suck," and they're not this. I'm like, first off, we're traveling. People don't realize being a pro athlete, the travel, the road grind, no training camp, no limited practices, less film. Like we kind of doing this on the fly. Everybody is. We're flying the plane as we're building it. Exactly. But the Wizards, man, I've been a Wizards fan since when they were even the Bullets, and I've been teased all my life. And that's how you know. The Wizards cannot. They can lose every game for the rest of their life, and I'm still gonna be a Wizards fan.
Same thing with my Knicks, man. It's Knicks. I ain't going to Brooklyn. I'm not gonna be the Brooklyn Nets fan. I'm born in Brooklyn. Then everyone thought I was gonna be a Brooklyn Nets fan. I was like, I can't do it. It's New York.
Correct me if I'm lying. Even though we are in media now, there's a little something special when you're a team. When you love your team, it's more than just being a fan. Like it's an investment. Mm-hmm. So people don't realize, like, I live and die with my team. So it's just being a Wizards fan is up and down. We hot, we cold, but all of those guys are special to me. When I see Bill come out there and say, "No, I'm a Wizard," and he's putting up 34 a night and then doing it on a consistent basis, it's like, and then an all-star starter, I'm like,
after not being an all-star, which is the biggest.
That's what I'm saying, man.
He wasn't even an all-star, which is like, I couldn't believe. I don't care if you guys could have been 0-40, whatever, 0-51 at the all-star break. Dude was averaging. He was the leading scorer in the Eastern Conference, so he needs to be an all-star.
30 in the NBA is not no people. It's funny. even the 15th man can cross you up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like what Bill does on a night-to-night basis, he's special. I mean, to the point where people are like, oh, I wish I had Bill. Well, we got Bill. Yeah, he's our guy. But I'm just excited to see that now we have 10 spots. You know, just if we can get in that 10 spot, hey, just give us a shot. You know, as they say, let's dance. You saw what UMBC did to UMBA. And barring injury can happen. You never know. You saw what Miami did to the Bucks. So it's all about matchups, who catches lightning in the bottle. And I'm never counting, never say never, man. You know, never say never. But the Wizards, we're a big crowd team. So I know that kind of takes a hit on us too. We don't have nobody in the stands, but pretty much media and coaches and broadcasters. So we're missing, and Russell feeds off the crowd. If Russell had a crowd, man, we might be a little bit better because he really feeds off that crowd. So I can't wait to see Roy's development. I can't wait to see Denny's development. We have Gafford. I prayed for Gafford on draft night. We have him. Bill is Bill. You don't have to talk about him. It was funny. Alex Lynn plays for us, and I can remember one time seeing Alex Lynn at a game, and I'm like, oh crap, like, yeah, Alex Lynn. You know, and he was like, hey man, we're section such and such. So it's just cool to see that we have a squad where, you know, we have some dogs now. You know, people are like, oh, it's the Wizards on our schedule, easy W. Not no more. Now I know we lost tonight. But granted, again, we shouldn't have lost, but it's Wizards basketball, man. You never know what you're gonna get. But we coming. All I can say is we coming, Chris. Look at your Knicks, man. They was calling y'all out, and look at y'all.
Man, so, calling us out ain't the word, man. We were getting killed, bro. It was rough. Bro, it was rough, man. It's rough being since we got two teams here now. It's even rougher now because before it was like, I'm a Yankee fan, right? We got the Mets. I'm a Giants fan. We got the Jets, but it was the Knicks. It was just everyone's a Knicks fan. So that was the one basketball we could all relate. Brooklyn comes, is like, all right, well, whatever. Treat them like the Mets, right? I'm a Giant. We treat them like the Mets or the Jets. But now they get a little steam, right? A little bit, and you're like, you're not worried. He's like, all right, we're still gonna get KD. We're still gonna get it. And then boom, they go over the bridge. It's like, oh wow. And then like they're getting trashed on, but like they go to the team that's in our city. Like they're right there, not too far away, and that's what hurt. And like, but it's cool to see, you know, the Knicks on the come up, finally doing it the way you should do it, right? Drafting, like, hey, you drafted Wall and Beal, right? You had your two guys. You guys had some few good years. You made it to the second round. You know, you guys had good years, and it feels better when it's your guys, right? You drafted
homegrown feels better. Homegrown feels better.
Yeah, and I know a lot like. Randall's not homegrown, but it feels like he was kind of casted away. And then, you know, we took him because, you know, we lost that. Hey, you know, we had to get someone, and he was willing to come here when it wasn't. The vibes were bad. Like he was getting booed, and like people are when you expect KD, and you get Julius. It's no disrespect to Julius, but let's be real. KD is a different cat. Like that's elite of elite.
That's Slim Reaper, man.
That's Lamborghini. That's Lamborghini, right? That's you know, it's different, you know. And then you get Randall, who's, you know, that's a Dodge Challenger, you know, it's a nice car, but it's not a Lamborghini. You're gonna get disappointed, you know. But now it's just the focus is just getting better. Don't worry about what Brooklyn's doing or whatever. Just focus. And you know, for Washington, your team, you know, what do you think the future is for Beal? Do you think, and he said all the right things, right? He said he wants to be here, he wants to ride it out, but is there a breaking point for him? Because, you know, last year was a tough season for him. You know, it cost him possibly an all-star bid, and listen, that's money. It's more than just being an all-star, right? We know there's incentives that can, there's money kickers that can make you from making $150 to $200, right? And you know, so do you think there's any point where if you miss the playoffs, let's say, for instance, you miss out on that top 10, do you think there's any instance where he will go to the management and be like, what's up? Like, are we going to do anything to get better? Because, listen,
I'm gonna get older, and then I don't want to waste my years. Like, yeah, it's cool. Listen, it's cool to be loyal to your team, but they also have to show it back to you, right? They have to show the same love back. So, do you think that if, let's say, you guys miss it, do you think there's a chance Beal would want out?
Chris, I'm gonna answer this how I ask my kids in the classroom. On a scale of 1 to 10, how real can I be with you? I always say, please say 11.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta say 11.
Yep, we 12. Okay. Let's keep it a buck.
Oh, we're 12. Oh, let's
keep it a buck.
Man, I love the Wizards so much, but I love Bill just as more. So if we don't make it, whatever makes Bill happy, you know. I'm looking at this thing as a human. If he feels like what's best for his family, I can't tell that man what to do. If he thinks that's in Washington, so be it. If he thinks it's with another franchise, that's fine with me. Bill has given us his blood, sweat, and tears. I know Bill, when I met Bill as a rookie, and he said, if you want to be the greatest at this thing, go do it. So Bill, the only thing Bill owes himself is himself. He gave us everything, you know. He has the keys right now. He's incredible. But what do I look like? As one of my mentors says, you know, I don't ever want to hold you down. If you want a free agent is a free agent, you know. You know, control your own destiny.
Exactly.
And that's the thing about, you know, appreciating something while you have it. Yeah, I could worry about 5 years from now, but I got Bill right now. So while I have him, I'm enjoying him. Exactly. But I think that's the other side of this thing that the casual fan doesn't see. When a player, it's almost like Bill's a brother to me. Now, not technically speaking, I just want to see the guy happy. You know, he has a kid, he has a wife, and yeah, he's a Wizard, but he's Bradley Beal first.
Exactly.
You know, I'm Wayne Cole, but I'm a Wizards fan, you know. And that's the thing with this sports thing. If you're not happy for the guy, I'm not going to burn his jersey. I'm going to celebrate him.
That's,
you know, like, that's crazy to me.
Silly that people do that. Like,
yeah, so that could get people like, oh, yeah, whatever. That's how I'm built. I'm enjoy it while we have him. I hope we make the playoffs, but whatever a brother wants to do, I'm 150% behind it, and I'll still root for him. Just like John Wall is a Houston Rocket, still root for John Wall.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the jersey doesn't change. It's how you've grown a part of what they do in the community. He's a good guy, so I'm a Bill fan. You know, he gives out the book bag. You saw that video he just released. Like, you think y'all want to make the league? God, me first. You know, so that's how when it transcends basketball for me. Yes, everybody can be like, oh, I'll give you this for Bill. And right now he's a Wizard, and I'm a treat it as such. But whatever that man wants to do, I'm 100 million, gazillion, quadrillion behind him, because he's poured his soul out. Exactly. He's showing up every day. He's giving me 33, 31 a game. He's
50, bro. He's giving you 50. He's giving you guys 50 and taking L's. That's tough when you drop 50 and you lose back to back. I mean, those
look, even when LeBron went to Miami, you know, I was like, hey, go for it, you know. And this is crazy, but I want these guys to control their destiny. And I think that's what's special about the NBA. Bill had the chance to go or stay with us, and he stayed. So, you know, people, loyalty is rare. I'll say that too. But you got to be loyal to yourself. So whatever that looks like, Bradley Beal, I Wayne Cole, support whatever you do. But I love you while you're with us, man.
Hey, man. You know, we'll take care of him in New York if you want to. We'll take care of you. You know,
and look, and Chris, speaking of New York, what Julius did, and what, you know, Derek want to come back to the Garden. That tells me that even, you know, Tibbs, they say he runs guys to the ground, but Tibbs loves his guys. He's getting something out of those guys that other coaches couldn't. So it tells me it's a culture. The culture, that New York culture, is growing now. It's getting a buzz. So when now you might have a guy like, hey, what's New York got to say? You know? So even when y'all beat us, I say, hey, basketball is in a better place when the Knicks are winning. Like when y'all got Melo, I was looking at every game. Man.
Wayne, say that one more time. Say that one more time. I got to hear that again.
Basketball is at a better place when the Mecca is on top, or when it's a buzz. So when we have good Knicks basketball, that's what we need in the league. When the Knicks are playing good ball, that's great for our league.
Exactly.
Because it's the Mecca. I mean, you talk to any guy. When you go to Madison Square Garden,
it's different.
You put on the show. It's different.
It's different.
You get goosebumps there. It's like, oh my God, this is like the holy grail of ball.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that Julius, he took the road less traveled, I'm looking at it as a free agent. Like, let me go see what New York got offered. Because this guy's a killer.
Mm-hmm.
He's like I tell people he's Zion almost. He doesn't jump out the gym, but he's so polished.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think hopefully I want Zion to look at some Randall film.
If Zion can add a couple, the bag the way like Randall can, Zion could be an MVP.
Scary,
like the sky's the if he can add anything close to what Randall could do as far as his moves, the way he can get to the basket, his shooting, like Randall's shooting, his mid-range game has taken another leaps and bounds.
It's art. People don't like that mid-range. I love the mid-range.
Mid-range is still.
I love the fundamental game. It's flashy. The guys like the flash, but just if you do a windmill in a layup, it's 2 points. So I'm old school. I'm like Timmy Duncan. I give it to you off the glass.
Exactly.
I back you down, a little sky hook. I can't windmill Vince Carter, but best believe I'm pass cutting, backdoor.
Fundamentals, man.
Fundamental ball. Your boy quickly, man. He is going to be a legend, man. Y'all got a diamond in the rough right there. Y'all really got one.
He's going to be a good one. Once he figures out the game, because he's figured it out to an extent now, and he wasn't even supposed his projection was to maybe play towards the end of the season, and be a factor next season. He was kind of from the jump a contributor more than Obi, and Obi was supposed to be the one who was pro ready. And listen, I still have belief in Obi Toppin because I feel like once we get that point guard into me and you can move, you could play more up tempo, right? Play more faster because the Knicks play really slow. I think they're last in pace of play and possessions per game. Like their offensive efficiency, they're still low. So there's still improvements that you could see. But if they ever get him a point guard like I was crossing my fingers for Lonzo. To me, Lonzo would have been great for this team. I mean, and someone you could help build this, keep building this team to where we want to go. He would have been perfect with Obi because Obi needs that guy, needs to be in transition. Especially, you want to get guys easy buckets, right? To make the game easy, especially for young guys, right? A guy like him needs to be moving in space and just let him, be free, work on the wings, crash it, and dive at the basket. And he just seems right now, a little timid. There's not a lot of space for him right now. And especially when you got Randall, who's essentially playing the same position, it's hard to get your reps in, and I think coming into the season, I don't think they thought Randall was going to be Randall because I think they go another way in the draft if that's the case. But I think also
and your boy Mitchell, I was heard about that.
Yeah, it's tough. That was a big injury.
And look, I'm a Wizards fan. I'm following Knicks ball, so it's like I'm invested in the Knicks now.
Yeah.
So I'm loving what y'all doing, man. Honestly, I'm loving what y'all doing.
It just feels good to be winning. Wayne, it's just simple. Like I know the record's not sexy, but when you've been losing 50 games every year and you've lost 60 games multiple times, and you think you're going to get the number one pick, and you've been told you're going to get this guy and that guy and this guy and that guy, and then you don't get those guys. You've been told lies and disappointments, and Phil Jackson's supposed to change the franchise. This guy's supposed to change the franchise. We wasted Melo's prime years, and we finally get a team that just grit and grind. And I don't know if this is going to be a long-term thing. I don't know if this is the way to win long-term. But for right now, and we are in the right now, I can't project what's going to happen. I do that, and you just get yourself crazy. So I just all right, let me just enjoy the right now. Yes, they may be 500, but guess what? I didn't think they're going to be 500 going into the year. I did not have any high expectations. My expectations were nothing. You just go into the season with no expectations, and then whatever happens, you can't be disappointed.
I mean, this is really like, again, that's a team. I'm like, oh shoot, we drew the Knicks now. It's not no easy ball. Like you in for
exactly.
It's a 10 coach team. It's a dogfight.
And that's all you want. I just wanted this team to compete on a night in, night in basis. To know that when you play the Knicks, listen, they may not be the most talented team, but we're going to come in and you're going to have to bring it, right? You're going to have to bring it. I don't care if you're the Nets. I don't care if you're the Sixers. I don't care if you're the Wizards. I don't care who you have on your team. I don't care if you're the last place. You're going to have to bring it because they have a different mentality this year than they had from the previous years. And that's the Tibbs bringing in. Listen, I don't know. Listen, Tibbs has a great track record. We can get to whatever the future is. But right now, you got this team playing at a different level and have them ready to go. They are prepared. When you're prepared, no matter whatever the talent is, if you're prepared, you're going to be fine, right? You're going to, but if you come in not prepared, lackadaisical, no matter how talented, we just seen the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? I know that the Knicks lost to them, but you look at a team, you look at their talent, right? Usually you're like, wow, Anthony Edwards, athlete, Karl Anthony Towns, they got all this talent, and you're like, why are they 11-38?
Yeah,
because they just don't bring it. And the Knicks, you look at the Knicks, you're like, well, they got one. Okay, Julius, RJ could be something. Everyone else is still like, well, a bunch of role players, but they come in prepared, ready to go. And that's just fun to watch this year, Wayne. That's just.
But Chris, kudos. I think you might have sent my tweet to the Knicks because we were up 17, I believe, on y'all, and we lost. So that lets me know, like, even if it's not over till it's 0-0-0. Like, we were blowing y'all out and y'all beat us. So the Knicks are no laughing stock. They're no joke. They're no punch. They're no butter the joke now. They're for real. You saw we took the foot off the gas and y'all capitalized. So the Knicks need to be taken serious. And anytime, again, they're all pro athletes. If you can come back down from 17, you can do anything. Anything is possible.
Basketball is a game of runs. You could be up 20 one point and then down 20 just like that. Basketball is a game of runs. Game
of runs, man.
It's just about being prepared and all that. But it's I'm enjoying it. I don't know if it's going to fall off the track or if it's going to derail. I don't even want to think about it. I'm just going to enjoy. Hey, this team is I think they're 500 right now, and then we lost last night to Minnesota. Tough loss, but I'm just enjoying it because it's been bad. It's been some bad basketball.
Man, when you seen bad, you get good. You appreciate it.
You appreciate it more.
Savor this, man.
You just got to enjoy it.
It's tough to win at this level.
It's tough. And just being a basketball fan, period, just the fact that we got basketball. At this point last year, we had nothing. There was no basketball. There was nothing. We were watching reruns. You were probably watching old Wizards games.
Honestly, man.
You were probably watching Juwan Howard and Chris Webber back with the Bullets, I was watching old Lynn Sanity and watching, Patrick Ewing in 94 and all that, It's crazy.
You want to know what else I was doing? It's funny you said it. I was watching old Bullets clips, Rod Strickland. Oh, man, the point guard. But what I was really doing was, practicing with my grandfather. We were watching old Magic games, Isaiah games, and we were calling the games. We put it on mute. We would sit down and he would do a mock interview with me and be like, okay, ask me some questions. And then he would act like he was mad at me, like, I don't want to talk to you. So he was teaching me, like, how do you ask a guy, like, all right, man, like, what's on your mind? He's like, ask the guys the questions that they don't get. And we were building this thing to come to a podcast together. And we were getting the equipment and we would just, listening to NPR, and then we would pretend we were NPR. We would watch old baseball games and call the games together, Steve Buckhand's Fushioneer style. And man, when we got the bubble back, I was happy because I was like, okay, Pop and me are watching basketball, what we love to do. And man, when I lost him, man, I'm like, that was my co-host right there. Like that was the guy I was gonna do this podcast with. And it crushed me. It was like, I didn't just lose my father, I lost my co-host. So now that I'm saying, it's not that I want to see you do well. I want to see everybody do well, but it's like, I owe this to him. Like I have to be one of the greats because he saw it in me before nobody else saw it. And, we watching the games and, he can barely lift his arms up, because he had Parkinson's. And he's like, there we go, Will. Oh, there we go, Bill. And he's in so much pain, but the game of basketball is bringing him so much joy. So it's tough to know that. And I put it on Twitter to see. It's like an open diary. Like I don't care. I miss my grandfather. You know, he's more than a guy to me. So, you know, we watching the late night games, and you know, I don't go until maybe 2 o'clock in the morning because you know West Coast time.
Yeah.
Well, he, you know, like, okay, LeBron, cut. Okay, DePaul. It's like I would literally give up anything just to watch one more game with him. So how do I keep his memory alive? Talk to you. You know, how to keep his memory alive? Talk to those kids across the seas. How to keep his memory alive? Cheer on for Will, even when a troll is saying y'all suck. You know, that's how I'm keeping them alive and giving these giveaway to the kids and, you know, teaching them how to do this. So basketball is more than a game to me, man. It's everything.
It really is, man. It's everything. It brings people together. It's more than just playing it. It's brought me, like I said, to be able to talk to guys like you, and like I've been able to talk to people that I've looked up to in this world. Like I get to talk to Rashad Phillips, I got to talk to Scott Pollard, you know, like all these people, you know, you know, got to talk to Ronnie Brewer, like all these NBA draft guys who I looked up to, you know, and it's basketball, all for basketball. And it's just crazy how it turned into more than just basketball, where it's relationships and all that. Like we talked about before, it's still sometimes I wake up and, you know, and just like, damn, like I do it. Like I took this show and like I'm not an insider. I didn't play, you know, I played some high school ball. You know, I didn't play at the college level. I didn't play overseas. I didn't play in the NBA. But there's guys who played overseas and all that, and they respect my basketball knowledge as if I did, like, because and that to me that's always dope when I get that, like, yo, like guys who played major basketball overseas or wherever, they respect what you say, because you're not just talking like a casual or just like a fan. Right. You understand the game. You understand that it's more than just basketball. There's just more to it, and it's been dope, man. It's crazy. It's
the mental. Everything comes back down. Tell you, Chris, the mental health. Like these people think these guys are robots. They have feelings and concerns and worries just like you.
Exactly.
You know, and for our women, they were at the forefront of the movement, the Black Lives Matter, the women in sports. Like they changed the world. So you know, even I know we've been showing love to the NBA, but man, I mean, I don't know, you're a Liberty guy. I'm excited for my Mystics this year.
Sabrina Esco, like I heard, I was so upset. I was so upset when she busted her ankle last year. But you know, hey, I guess they tanked and we got the number one pick again. So, but you know, she's brought another, and you know, God rest his soul, Kobe Bryant. I think he started. I've always respected women's basketball, but it felt like as a whole, there was other people who still put disrespect simply because they can't dunk. You know, silly stuff like that, right? They don't draw. Right. You've heard all the nonsense. They don't draw the money, blah, 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 all that nonsense and all that. But for me, like when I got my daughter, you know, when my daughter came into this world, and then Kobe, you see Kobe and his daughter, and I was like,
oh, man, I loved it.
That's so dope. Like, I want that. And then you just see Kobe, like, he's wearing the hoodie, the WNBA. I mean, his last picture on his Instagram is him with the hood. Like, it's, you know, one of his last pictures with the hood WNBA hoodie, you know, when he went to one of the games with his daughter, and it's like, you know, he started, like, it felt like it was coming up, because if Kobe is respecting the game of basketball with the females, if you like Kobe, you got to respect. And it felt like, and when he passed away, I was just hoping that if people wanted to keep his legacy going, was keeping that movement of, you know, embracing women's basketball. Don't forget about what he was doing in women's basketball, because he's not here no more. You could still embrace it, love it, support it in any way possible. If he's not, just because he's not here doesn't mean you stop that. You keep in doing that, because I saw a lot of people who were on it, and then he passes away, and then they think like, no. You want to embrace the Mamba mentality? You want to make Kobe proud? Keep embracing women's basketball. Keep supporting it. Watch the games. You know, go on Twitter and the social media. Talk about it. You know, because you know that's how you embrace it. And I felt like ever since, you know, his unfortunate passing, it does feel like there's more embrace. You're gonna get the people who are gonna trash, like I said. But those are the clowns, right? Those are people.
I can't even give them time.
We can't even. You don't give those people time because they don't really care about the game of basketball. Because this basketball, just because it's different, they don't dunk and all that. It's still basketball. These games.
That's the funny thing. Like watching the game, you're showing that you don't really know. We have women that are dunking. So don't give me that.
And it's going to get to a point. It was evolution, right? We're going to see girls dunking like crazy. It's just a matter of time. Because again, we're seeing girls. I forgot they just showed someone on the layup line. She was slamming easy. Like it's going to happen where it's going to come easy, and then this. I don't want to see people be like, oh, now they're dunking. Now it's fun now. It's like, no, embrace it now because these ladies can ball.
Yeah, be with us now.
Paige Buckner from UConn. She's
like that. You know what was funny, Chris? I'm like I said, I'm the Spike Lee of the Wizards. I'm the Jack Nicholson of the Wizards. But I tuned in to Baylor, UConn over the Wizards. I missed Russell's historic night. Mm-hmm. I watched the women's game. Why? Because I'm a fan, and they've been having better games than the men.
Yeah, that game was great too, man. I mean,
awesome.
Foul or no foul?
Foul.
Foul, right? Yeah, man. I
mean, real. It might get some people mad at me. Tough call.
It was tough. Listen, I know people want to get on the refs on that, but that is a tougher call than people think.
Yeah,
it's tough, especially when it's quick. But I think she got it. But
I'm close with a WNBA ref, so I know like we all make mistakes. We don't see something like the game is like this. So I commend refs, man. They hear some of the most foulest stuff. You got to be tough to be a ref, man. You'll hit.
My appreciation for refs is I've talked to a few refs. It's gone way up. I don't get on the refs as much as I used to.
And we like to jug at the refs, but they know what's play love and what's I would say assault. Like talking about somebody's family. I'd be like, all right, ref, you want my glasses? Like now they like that type of stuff. But back to the women's point, Chris. I got to grow up and see Angel McCoughtry play on the blacktop. And if you know double rims in the playground, if you switching on those, you goated.
Oh, good.
Guys were double teaming her, and she's still on net.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just funny to me that these guys making these jokes and get in the kitchen, and it's like, my man, they're at the top 1% of their game.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? You're behind your little Twitter talking, and you probably was cut from JV. So don't give me that getting the kitchen stuff. Don't give me that. Like, respect. If you love ball, respect G League, respect WNBA, respect
overseas, exactly.
Overseas, respect pre-K ball if they have that. Like, respect everything. Like, don't just say NBA.
Exactly.
It's more than just NBA. It's our guys in college and high school, the AUs, those guys that I went down to a tournament down in Virginia, and I'm talking to these guys, and like, I just want it, man. So that's what it's. The NBA is entertainment, of course, but it's so much other ball you can get involved and start supporting, man.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
I miss slam ball. I miss
slam ball too, man. That was fun. I mean, I watched the tournament. They had when they started the bubble and they kind of showed us the blueprint of how the how the NBA bubble was going to look like. I enjoyed that. Like, it was basketball. The big three. I enjoy that. It's bad. If you're a fan of basketball, you're going to enjoy any type of basketball, whether it's WNBA, college basketball, like you said, the big three. Whether it's Australian basketball, whether it's the Spanish league, Serie A, you're going to enjoy Real Madrid, whatever. You're going to enjoy basketball because it's basketball and you enjoy it because you're a basketball fan. Now, if you're just an NBA fan, then that's cool. You could be an NBA fan, but if you're if you call yourself a basketball fan, that means you enjoy all types of basketball. You enjoy high school basketball, college basketball, like I said. And when you just see people trashing different, big three basketball or, like you said, women's basketball, especially, like, to me, that's like, I don't get, you can't call yourself a basketball fan then if you're trashing it. You shouldn't respect their craft. And they're more fun than at least some of the guys, it's just crazy. Like they could, it's just, but it is what, I don't pay attention to those people who trash that because it's so corny, but.
My favorite basketball, Chris, is when we get FIBA and USA, because then I can root for guys that normally I can't root for. So that's when I'm like, USA, man, let's get it. So
yeah.
How I can be like, okay, LeBron, let's go, shorty.
Yeah.
Okay, Marcus Smart, I see you out there. That's when I really love the game, because now it's like your country, you know.
Exactly.
Like,
we get the FIBA Ball, Olympics is different. Oh yeah,
it brings a different animal out of me. I'm like, hey y'all, now I can root for you hardcore like I do the Wizards. So let's go. You know, like it's not the Wizards, it's my country here.
Exactly. It's the country, and we all come together. Hopefully we all come together. We still got to figure that part out. It's coming together, you know, and just enjoying it, you know, as a whole, you know, and staying together, right? We got to embrace each other again. We got to get back to those, you know, obviously, you know, it's been crazy, you know, just the world's been crazy these last few years, but at the end of the day, it's embracing each other, because we're all, like I said, we're all humans, right? We all bleed the same blood. You know, we all, you know, taking care of each other, understanding that, you know, in order for us to get past this pandemic and we got to be together, everyone's got to be a team. It's one thing we missed out, is being a team, right? It feels like there's one team here, there's one team there, but, you know, in how the world is right now, we got to stick together. We got to figure this thing out. If we want the world to get back to where it was just a few years ago, got to embrace each other. Got it. And so hopefully we'll get back to that, you know. But Wayne, my man, round of applause, man. This was a fun conversation.
This was fun, man.
This is one of the best conversations I've ever had. Like I said,
I appreciate that.
There's definitely
you got my Twitter, you got my Instagram, you know where to find me. So
yes.
I'll definitely be returning the favor, because we got a lot of stuff we didn't even touch on. So
dude, we could have gone on for hours, man, but you know, I got work.
I know, man.
Man, you know,
yeah.
But we could have done this.
It was an honor, man. It was a pleasure, really. You know, we did this for 1 hour and 26. That's time you won't get back, but the value of this conversation, man, it's gems in here. I hope people that look at it, was some gems dropped in. So I appreciate you, man. It means a lot.
No, it means a lot for me, bro, because this was, like I said, I know, I mean, it's not even prisoner of the moment, but this is one of the best conversations I've been able to have. And I've done over 110 shows, I think. I've, you know, done a bunch of other podcasts and all that. Wayne, this is up there. This is up there. And I'm appreciate anyone who tuned in live, but
for real.
I'm gonna put this out as a podcast too. It's gonna come out Saturday morning. I think people are gonna enjoy this one.
I'll retweet it. I'll share it, and definitely.
Because this is more than just talking ball. This is real conversation. This is showing, you know, the great things you do to help other people. And this is, like I said, this is more than just basketball. This is bigger. And what you're doing, and like I said, it inspires me in the morning when I see you tweet. Like it's you know, it's, you know, what you're doing is bigger than, you know, bigger than just ball, bigger than anything. You're changing lives, and you're an inspiration, brother. So continue success, because I mean, you're the locker room king. I mean, you're gonna, like I said, locker room's gonna have you on the, like LeBron's on the throne. It's gonna see Wayne. I'm like, oh, Wayne got his own throne. Look at him on the locker room throne. Look at him. He's gonna have his own thing, man. But Wayne, man, nothing but success, man. You've been killing it. Before we sign off, is there anything you want to plug, push? You know, the floor is yours right now.
I appreciate that. If you want to find me, it's KING_OTAY. That's on Twitter and Instagram. I have a podcast called Everybody is a Celebrity, and The Sports Counselor. So that is Everybody is a Celebrity, because I really believe everybody is a celebrity. And The Sports Counselor is just mental health from professional athletes, college and high schoolers, and, you know, just hearing their stories from, you know, the court and life. So excited for that, and got some high profile guests coming on. So stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. I'll make sure to put all those links in the bio when the podcast comes out. But once again, Wayne,
appreciate you, man.
Give you another round of applause, because you definitely earned it. Because like I said, definitely one of the best shows I've been able to do. But like I said, thanks again for coming on, brother. Like I said, nothing but success. Like I said,
I'll see you at the top.
Yep. And if you want to, make sure to follow me, Off the Ball Pod. You know where to find me, guys. Off the ball, everything. You see me off the ball, everything. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. But on that note, guys, have a tremendous night. Like I said, Wayne, this was a fun conversation. Podcast comes out this weekend. Tune in for that. Appreciate everyone for tuning in on the live. Appreciate everyone commenting. This is a hell of a conversation. I'm Chris LeBron, off the ball. That's Wayne Cole. Have a good night, guys. Take care. Be safe. Love each other. Have a good one.